How's it going, YouTube? Decode here, and welcome to episode number 5 of our Hatchet to Hero series. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, I would highly recommend going to watch those prior to this episode, just so you can get caught up with our progress so far. This is our level currently of level 12 with a 60% survival rating, so we're not doing too badly, I feel, at this stage in the series, especially considering we started the series fairly late on in the wipe as well. So first and foremost, I'm just going to see what we have back from our insurance. We do actually have our Mosin that we dropped in the previous episode, or the episode before, I can't remember when it was, but we do have that back, which is the only suppressed weapon that we currently hold in this particular series. So that is fairly nice to see back from the insurance side of things. So we are going to go ahead and actually slot that down here so we still have room to put our armor and our face mask. But regardless of that, I'm really happy to see the Mosin back. It also allows us to continue leveling up our sniper skill if we do end up going to woods again in this episode. With regards to the tasks, we have a fair few tasks now unlocked for ourselves, and in this episode I think we're going to go for a little bit of customs action, because we do have the extortionist that we need to do. We also have a background check that needs to be done. We have Operation Aquarius that needs to be done, and they also want to start getting into a little bit of PvP to try and get some progress on Friend from the West Part 1. We do already have a PMC dog tag that was acquired in the very first raid. I think it was the first raid. It was definitely in the first episode of this series regardless. And we are going to be rocking this kit right here. We might change this armor actually to put on the 6B13, which I feel will be a better armor for us to use over the 6B23 in terms of any PvP fights we may end up rolling ourselves into. And I'm also going to get a couple more spare mags and a bit more ammo in terms of this episode before we load in. So let's just very quickly grab, say, 2 more mags of the, or for the MP5 should I say. 2 more 30 rounders will do us nicely. And then if we filter by the PSO ammo, we'll go ahead and purchase exactly 60 rounds to pop into those 2 mags as well. So let's just quickly go ahead and slot those into the magazines we have just purchased. Now before we go into this raid, I am going to very quickly check our daily tasks, because I don't want to go into a raid without having a quick check and seeing if there's anything else that we can do on customs. So we do need to eliminate scavs on any location for Peacekeeper. It does give us 3,200 XP, and it also gives us some Peacekeeper rep, which is huge. Gives us a few euros, which we don't currently need, but it'll be nice to have it for further down the line. We need to survive by extracting through Courtyard on Streets of Tarkov. That site is a really nice site for us to get, and that rep. As I said in the previous episode, though, Streets of Tarkov is one of those maps that I have not run at all since its release. So we will need to have a secondary screen going, which is the one that I can see my recording on currently. We need to pop up a map of Streets of Tarkov if we look to try and get that one done in this episode. Then we also need to hand over a horse figurine to get MRE Iskra some more rep and some more XP with 22k rubles. So the horse figurine we could probably end up getting fairly easily, as long as we get lucky enough in the areas of the map that we do end up traversing. But our main focus for this particular first raid is going to be to try and see if the room for, not sanitary surrender, sorry, the room for Operation Aquarius Part 1 is open. See if we can grab this pocket watch and go over and grab the actual pocket watch from the truck or the lorry, whichever area of the world that you're from. And also we want to try and see if we can get the valuable cargo from customs as well. I think this is the one with the unknown key. In fact, I'm almost certain this is the one with the unknown key, so we'll go ahead and try and get this done in this raid as well. If we get into any PvP, we will try and go for the Friend from the West Part 1. It's going to be a little bit harder for us with the gear that other people are using compared to our gear, because obviously we don't have access to the higher tier gear at this present moment in time. We could run the Trooper to give us a little bit more of an edge when it comes to armor, but I feel like the 6B13 is going to hold up fairly well for ourselves when it comes to this particular task. We're also going to try and get ourselves closer to level 15. If we have a look at our skills, we are just over halfway towards level 13, so we're not too far off getting to level 13, and then we will be well on our way to getting to level 15. We're also going to try and get some stuff for the hideout as well. But regardless of that, let's stop yapping. Let's get into a customs run. Excuse me, had to clear my throat there. Let's get into a customs run and see what we can get gone. Done, even. Gone. Not really what I was looking to say. Anyway, let's jump into raid and see how we do. Alrighty, so raid number 1 of the episode. We got a fairly decent spawn to grab this key. We're going to take out the IFAC, put the unknown key in. We are running a raid in the transitional period, I guess you could say, of this particular time frame, solely because I want to be able to try and get some scavs. Obviously, we are looking for PvP. So if we do end up getting some PvP off the back of this raid as well, that'd be handy. But I am going to check Crack House before we move through the map. We do need to go to dorms, which means there is a high possibility of us running into players over on that side of the map, which will be fairly handy to potentially do some PvP for Friend from the West Part 1. We do have some more meds in here as well, which is very, very handy for us. Just go ahead and slot those in our rig rather than in our backpack. This needs to go on 8 because that is the free slot that we have. But this location as well is fairly high traffic, so we could potentially run into a few people coming this way as well. We just have to be a little bit mindful of that and kind of listen out for any movement whilst we are looting this particular area of the map. Nothing really worth taking down the bottom there. Sometimes you can find some reasonable attachments for your weapons, but this time around, no such luck. So there are a few shots raining off. It sounds like over towards the big red side of the map across the bridge that way. And there's also some shots going down over towards Old Gas as well. So we're basically not pinned in by players because there's no one necessarily near us, but we do have players on both sides of the map compared to where we currently stand. So we will want to be a little bit quick on getting through the looting part of this particular raid, because at least if we go ahead and loot this fairly quickly, we'll have the opportunity to kind of get a bit of a surprise attack on people that might roll through this area. As I said in the introduction of this episode though, it's going to be fairly difficult in some aspects to get some kills in this raid, although saying that, Tarkov can be a bit of a game that relies on luck, but not as much as other games. And I say that solely because if you do have a angle on a person, you can hold that angle. It doesn't really matter too much as long as you hit the shots in the correct area for the ammo that you're using. Obviously PSO ammo isn't going to have the best penetration for us, so we may have to go for leg shots, but at the same time, if we do have a bit of a surprise factor on our side, we may end up getting lucky and shredding through someone's thorax, or someone's like going through someone's helmet if they are wearing a helmet to get the headshot. But regardless of that, we are just going to loot up this filing cabinet, check to see if there's any intel in the back area of this library, and then we'll look to move on through the map as we see it. I don't think we need that cricket anymore. I could end up being wrong, but I don't think we need that. I think we're mostly looking for matches for the hideout to get our heating underway, as well as some other bits and bobs. So it doesn't look like there's any intel that's spawned in here. We do have a hex spawn in the corner, but it's not something that we're going to end up needing. Painkillers on the floor, but we're not going to take those, we don't necessarily need them. There's a CMS there, which we have room for, but we have a serve kit on us, so there's not a massive need for the CMS. As much as it would be nice to take it, I feel we go ahead and leave that behind. We are going to take the Soleil, though. We're going to drop the manual for now because we're not at the stage for crafting anything that requires that side of things. And I am going to keep checking the little hole in the wall as we are rotating through this area, because that is somewhere that a fair few players do like to push through to come to, like Crack House and Stronghold. Someone's rattling off a SVD, it seems. Don't need defuel. And 2 of those spawning in the same crate is kind of crazy. If we had the flea market, we would potentially look to pick that up. We do need that hand drill though for our hideout upgrade. So I think we put this mask here, we'll drop this. We're going to drop the motor for now as well, because although we're going to need the motor a little further down the line, the hand drill is something we do need for our stash upgrade. So that is going to be a little bit more beneficial to us for taking right now compared to the motor. So the next thing I want to do is try and make our way over to Dawn's, because we do need to grab the key that unlocks the trailer over here for the bronze pocket watch quest. There is a lot of action going down, it seems, towards the stronghold side of the map. I'm going to let that scav pass, even though we need 10 scav kills for the daily. I am going to let them pass real quick, just in case we can get a little bit of a better angle without having to worry about the scav running from left to right and missing our shots, and essentially drawing a little bit more noise towards ourselves. There we go. Managed to get the scav on the 3rd shot there, so 1 tap. We did hit the scav with the first bullet, but obviously the first bullet wasn't quite a headshot, so it didn't quite get the job done with one particular round, but that's fine. But we do need to now be a little bit wary of players that have spawned closer to Dawns than ourselves. I don't think the water room is going to have been open for us, unfortunately. It is one of those quests that is very highly trafficked in the start of a wipe, but when it comes to mid to late wipe, there's not too many people. Did not want to jump there. There's not too many people that will go ahead and be doing this particular quest outside of people doing like hardcore or people that have reset their account and all that kind of stuff, so we may end up getting lucky. Let's just swap to full auto because we are about to go inside, but we did just hear a scav column. There we go. So we want to grab the bronze pocket watch from in here, which is why we decided to come in here in the first place. Don't need those noodles anymore, so we'll go ahead and drop those. And I am going to go ahead and reload my mag, just in case we have any other encounters in this building. But that is, what, 3 scavs out of 10 down for our daily that we're looking to do. So at least we're making progress on that regard. So this should be the pocket watch the key that we need. There is movement outside. Now I don't know if that's scav movement or player movement, so I'm just going to wait here for a second. Because we heard some bushes rustling. Okay, so it's a scav due to the comms. So I am going to kind of push out towards where we heard the bushes rustling. Mostly because we want to get... Actually, we looted that scav. I was about to go back and loot that scav again. Mostly because there was a bigger backpack for us on a scav on the road. I think that shot was the scav that we heard rustling around in the bushes, but I'm not 100% sure, so we are gonna move to a different angle here. We will put our MP5 back on single fire for the time being. It might have been sniper scav actually that just shot at us. Did just hear some movement behind us, which is why I went quiet. Lovely stuff. Another headshot kill on a scav, so that puts us up to 4 for our daily. I have found, however, with dorms, that this area of the map, now that like stronghold is a thing, has become a little quieter than it used to be. When stronghold never used to be a thing, people would be over at dorms quite frequently, so there would be a lot more fights that kind of went down in this location, whereas at the moment we don't have to worry too much about people pushing this area, although saying that, there are some people that are lucky enough to have found the key for the marked room, so that is one thing that we do need to be aware of. Although we are on the other side of dorms away from the marked room here, so there's no massive worry, so to speak. I'm trying to think, this isn't a key, I don't think either of these keys are keys that we need. So I'm going to take the power cord over those keys, or at least they're not keys we need for now, so we will just go ahead and get rid of them. And then I'm going to go upstairs and hit the filing cabinets upstairs to potentially have the chance of finding the key for the water room, which I think is 116 if memory doesn't fail me. But we are hearing quite a bit of action in and around the map. This raid in Customs is one of those maps that can be fairly high trafficked in terms of players, which is another reason why a lot of people will come here, not always but sometimes, to do some PvP. I am going to take this green bat because I've been saying the serve lighter is the item you need for the Bitcoin trade, but I'm pretty sure it's actually a green bat over the survival lighter. I could be completely wrong there, but I'm almost certain of it. What key is this? 206? 104. That's actually a nice key to find for us, because it is a key for a safe room over on the other. Is it the other side or is it this side? Can't actually remember now. I think it's this side, thinking about it. Pretty sure this side, the 2-story side, is the blue key, like the blue key top, and then the 3-story is the like normal key top, so to speak. Could have shoulder swapped there to check that corner. but with no movement being heard, I felt like it was safe enough to check with the I don't actually know if that key's any good that we just passed up, but felt it was safe enough to just come round with the left shoulder, normal left shoulder peek, and not swapping over to the left shoulder. But it seems that all of the action in this raid is going down over on the opposite side of the map. We may end up running into some stragglers though as we push through the map to obviously go to like the pocket watch, but also as we move towards exfil. But we will obviously see how things progress before we jump to those sort of conclusions fully. So I think the play now is to check the safe in 104 from the key that we just got, and then we all head over to grab our bronze pocket watch. Actually, sorry, it was this side, so it's a little bit more out in the open, which isn't ideal, but we will make it work for ourselves. In fact, I don't even know, I don't think this is a safe room thinking about it. I think this is the one that has the toolkit and the jackets. But we will go ahead and open it to see if we can get any luck out of these jackets in terms of a key that we do require. So blue tape in there. And this one has rat cola, which we'll just go ahead and drink. I'm not going to worry about the toolkit. We are full on loot at the moment, so there's not really a massive need for us to go ahead and open up that toolbox. I don't know why I said toolkit, but toolbox. Just checking the road there as we run across, seeing if I can see any movement. So those shots sound like an M4 over towards our right hand side, more towards the big red side of the map. So I am going to move over here, even though we do want PvP for Friend from West Part 1. I feel with the keys that we have on us, even though they're in our secure container, I think we are better off just wrapping this side and going into the area of the map that has the rig, or the truck, or whatever you want to call it, rather than pushing towards any shots. Excuse me, even though there is a possibility that those players that we heard shooting could come through here, or they could kind of wrap around. They sound like they're excuse me, I don't know why I need to cough and clear my throat so much in this episode, I do apologise. But they could end up, as I said, pushing through here. They could just leave this area alone. There's a lot of different possibilities of rotations for the players that we have seen. I do love the fact that in Tarkov you can unlock something and still turn 180, almost 360 degrees, and have your player's arm basically break without any repercussions. But now we have the pocket watch. Our main aim is to just get the hell out of here. Obviously we do want to try and get the item for extortionist as well. And normally if I hadn't have heard so much shooting around the stronghold area of the map, I would have pushed around that way to get to the location for the item we require for that task. But considering there was a fair few shots over there, we are going to go ahead and leave it. Sniper Scav is currently trying to shoot at us. At least I think that was Sniper Scav. So we are just going to try and stay out of his line of vision. So at least this way, if we leave him up, he is going to be a bit of a warning for us. Although there were some M4 shots, it sounded like this way. At least it sounded like an M4. I could be wrong in terms of the weapon. But it sounded like they were shooting towards the Sniper Scav area. Although I can't quite tell if Sniper Scav's dead or alive, because we do not have a scope to see if he is dead or alive. That looks like an airdrop over there, which I'm half tempted to try and nuke, but I haven't heard any form of aircraft come in. Okay, Sniper Scav is still up. So unless this well, I can't get my words out. Unless this red flare has been popped by a player and they are waiting. Sniper Scav, do you mind? Let's just try and get out of Sniper Scav's line of sight real quick. But I'm almost certain, unless I was seeing this red trailer, I'm almost certain there was smoke over here. But I have a feeling I might have seen this trailer, you know. Might have been duped by the trailer. There's no stash here, so we're just going to leave that be. But yeah, I could have been duped by the trailer here in thinking it was smoke for an airdrop. Or even this red trailer. Yeah, okay. There's no smoke over here. I was going to say that kind of confused me a little bit. It's like I haven't heard any airplane come through, and it looked like there was red smoke over here, but for whatever reason, looking through the chain link fence, the red train trailer, for whatever reason, was looking like smoke. But now that we're out of the line of sight for the Sniper Scav, we're in a little bit of a safer position to push through this area of the map. The shots have died down quite a bit since like the opening section of this raid, but we still need to keep our head on the swivel for obviously player scavs and even potentially players that might still be slowly making their way through the map. Don't get me wrong, I would love to get some PvP going in this particular episode. We might even run a raid on Safe Factory to see if we can get some PvP action. Okay, that Sniper Scav has seen me. I didn't know if they had. I saw them obviously run round the corner, but I wasn't sure if they'd actually seen me or not. And now I cannot see them. Yeah, I missed 2 headshots on that scav there. Or 2 shots. Like kill shots, should I say. Ooh. Nope. Right on the corner. Why did I repeat? That was such a silly decision to repeat exactly where I repeated before. Thankfully, it was only a leg shot from the scav. I am very quickly just going to end up doing some surgery. But now that we have space back in our pouch again, we will go ahead and put our Vaseline back down there. And I'm trying to think if there's anything I want to put into this empty slot, but I don't think there is. Apart from maybe backup meds. You might put backup meds down there too. But I'm hearing a lot of audio that I have not heard in a long, well, not even a long time. I haven't heard at all in this game, which is the sound of like dogs and wolves. Okay, we did end up getting that scav there. That was a bit of a risky fight to take. We had to hit the headshot and we weren't really in any sort of cover. But thankfully for us, we managed to get the job done. There's one more scav there that we just saw run into the field. Okay, we're not going to get an angle here. We have made a little bit of noise in this area, so we're going to leave the scav be. It sounds like the person with the SVD is making their way this way. So I am just going to try and push on fairly quickly, because it sounds like they could quite well be pushing towards us, and all of the shots that are going down over this way of the map If they're running SVD on customs, they could be on a the Punisher quest that requires you to use an SVD. What? Speaking of which, I think there was a player with a suppressed weapon sat on top of the fuel containers there. That's a nice spot. It is a very common spot. I just wasn't really expecting anyone to be there. Had an SR25, I think that is. Level 40. That's fair enough. GG's to them. It was a nice spot. We would have had to run past them anyway to get to where we were trying to go to. So, unfortunate death there. It does end our streak of, I think it was 4 in a row. So not quite what we're looking for out the back of that raid, but as I said, we'll have to even run past them at some point. M856A1 to the head. Nice little shot there by them. Nice little spot as well. We can't be too mad at that. Obviously, I would have preferred to have survived that raid, get out with the task progress, but at least we have the unknown key for the extortionist quest, so we don't have to worry about going to pick that up again. We could just kind of bypass that dead body if we do end up spawning anywhere close to them in the next few raids. So now we have a bit of a decision to make on what gear we want to run. We are going to take the pillbox in, I think. Definitely take the pillbox in for a bit of extra loot room. Car medkit's fine. So we'll go ahead and put that on 5. So pillbox and the 6p5 16 armor I think is what we'll end up running. Repairing wise, let me just inspect this real quick. So the only thing that's actually been hit is the chest plate. The repairability isn't great on this armor, but it's good enough for us to just go ahead and hit the repair button. We do need to get a few meds, or a few extra meds, i.e. heavy bleed stuff, and I don't know if we have any heavy bleed bits and bobs. We'll just have a quick check. We have a cap, so we'll go ahead and pop that in. But other than that, I think that is the only heavy bleed item we have. It is. We will need to take a CMS in, because unfortunately we did end up losing our serve kit in that raid, just because we don't really have any room to go ahead and put it into the into our pouch. We did come out with some nice ammo there as well. So I think I'm going to put the Vaseline up into the usual location, just to go ahead and put the CMS back down here. It also does mean with that death we're going to have to go ahead and grab the pocket watch key and get the pocket watch again, but that's not too much of an issue. But I'm trying to figure out what weapon I want to run in this raid. We could go ahead and grab ourselves like a PP19 maybe, and run one of those, because we can't mod the ADAR with the gas block, because we don't have the gas block. I think they took away the ability to buy that gas block. You used to be able to buy it from, I think it was mechanic or skier, from like level 1, so people would end up running a like an ADAR or something similar very early on in wipe, but it looks like we don't have the ability to do that, so we will go ahead and just grab the PP19 off of Prapor. I'm also going to go ahead and grab this sight to put on it, and we do have a handguard and a grip that we can put on it as well. Mag wise, we have room for 2 spare mags, and then I'm pretty sure we're going to have to run the PSO ammo again, which is fine. We don't have enough space for it right now, which does mean we're going to have to put the PP19 onto our player. But I do want to find because we also have a flashlight which might come in handy, but I do want to try and find the grip, this one. That is exactly what I want to find. So if we go ahead and take this off, we can put that on. Pretty sure we can also put the flashlight on, which is going to be very nice indeed. That hand grip, or the hand guard, we'll just go ahead and sell. And then we need to grab some ammo from Prapor, so we just go ahead and buy some PSO rounds of 200. And if we find the spare mags, we'll go ahead and load those up with the ammo. We'll also unload this and pop in the ammo there as well. And then we'll put the spare rounds in onto our player also. So PP19 is the weapon of choice in this particular raid. We're going to go back into customs because I do want to get the extortionist and I do want to get the bronze pocket watch quests done, because at least that way we've got a bit more progress made in this particular episode. I would also pretty much enjoy getting into some action with some semi-geared players, but at the same time that may not happen. I'm just going to check all of my suppressors to see if any of these will go onto the PP19 that we have. Part of me thinks they won't. I think they're all for, I know this one definitely won't. I think they're all for unfortunately weapons we don't have right now. That's a UMP suppressor, we don't need to have to look at that. That one won't go on, and that's a pistol suppressor if I'm not mistaken. So I think unfortunately we don't have the ability to put any suppressors on, but that's fine. The M32s I'll probably end up wearing over the GSS-H's just through personal preference. I know they're not the greatest headset in the world, but right now if we go to Ragman we don't have access to any other headsets from him bar the GSS-H's. We obviously do have the ability to buy this armor now, the Comi-Cons. So if we do need any armor that is outside like an armored rig and we don't really want to be running like a USEC and we don't have any other armors, we have the ability to buy this now, which is fine. But regardless of that, we are going to jump back into another customs run, and this time hopefully we can actually get out with the items we go in for. Alrighty, so raid number 2 of the episode. We are in the most unfortunate spawn I feel this map has to offer. However, it does allow us to be a little bit slower and a little bit more methodical with our approach. I feel the last raid we were a little bit fast moving through the map, whereas this time I'm going to be a little bit slower, take my time, allow people with a bit more higher gear and a higher level than us to progress through the map, and then hopefully, excuse me, we don't have to worry too much about running into people that the fight that we may have to take with them. Excuse me, Scav, you gonna die? What the hell? I swear okay, I know I hit the armor a few times, but I swear the first couple of shots were to the face. And the Scav was like, nope, I'm just going to laugh in your face and not die. That was slightly annoying. Not quite the start we wanted for the raid, but never mind. We do now have a broken hand, and we don't have a splint to go ahead and cure that, unfortunately. We'll just check our health. Yeah, so we've only got we've got a broken hand with no splint. So ideally, we would like to find a splint on our journey now. But having to shoot as much as we did there kind of gives away the fact that we're in this location. Oh, there is another scav right at the end of here. You gonna re-peek me? Or are you going to be a pussy? Going to be a pussy, okay. Let's just quickly dive in here and check to see if we can get any loot out of this as well. I will take the deadly mask, even though it's not really a mask that gives us any protection like the other masks in the game. At least this way we have a bit of swag if we ever need to go ahead and use something a little different. Right. I'm kind of tempted to take this TV rig because it is a bit of a storage rig for us. Let's PS rounds as well in here. Let's go ahead and unload the mags. Okay, it's not. It's FMJ, which is not really what we're looking for. We'll keep the pineapple juice out so we can take a drink of that in a second. But we will keep moving through the map now. We are on single fire. I will swap that to full auto. So the amount of times in the past that I've swapped to single fire to try and head tap a scav and then go into a fight with a PMC and not realise I hadn't changed the setting back to full auto, and it's cost me in that particular fight. I'd rather ensure that it's definitely on full auto just in case we need to go ahead and spray at some enemies. There is another scav. I'm trying to figure out if that's on the road. It is. Okay, wasn't going to take that shot just because of our broken arm. Our aim's going a little bit left to right. Okay, that's a better headset. We will take the sword-ins. I am a bigger fan of the sword-ins than I am of the... Actually, I'm going to take that mag, thinking about it, because we do have an ADAR, which we may end up wanting to use. But the sword-ins, I feel, are going to be a better headset for us overall. I feel like the hearing radius on them is better than the M32s we were rocking. We now need to just remember there is a scav in this yard somewhere. Right, that's our daily done. Lovely. TOS we don't need. We're going to leave that alone. Ideally, I would love to find a splint off of a scav, or even in the med box that's in here. Because if we can find a splint, we can fix our broken hand. The ophthalmoscope is actually a really nice find, especially with the found in raid LEDX that we've already got. This ophthalmoscope, if we have it found in raid after this raid, is gonna allow us to finish off the quest for, I think it's a thick items case that you end up getting from it. But we just heard some shots fairly close by. Not sure if that was a player or a scav. Couldn't quite make out A, how close it was, and B, like the source. It could quite easily be a player, so we do need to be wary of that. I'm going to go ahead and reload my mag to be on the safe side. And I'm pretty sure we're also in single fire again. Yeah, we are. That's fine. Once again, I'm going to change that to full auto. Unless we come in contact with a scav that we feel like we can just go ahead and one tap to the head. Make him move, because that wasn't the most ideal spot for us to fight that scav. There we go. It's another scav to add to the list. Not going to take the Saiga. I wish we could take that handguard off during the course of a raid, but we can't. We don't have room for the other TV rig, which is a shame. So that would be nice to have a bit more storage, both in looting and also in the stash. But we are taking, as I said, our time through this raid. We've been on this side of the map for a reasonable amount of time. Just trying to loot up the area. See if we can get any reasonable goodies that are going to be handy for us moving forward. The humpback we'll take for a bit of food. We do also want to take the hot rod, because it will be energy as well as hydration. But the filing cabinets, we're going to be looting as many of these as we possibly can, solely because I think I said this in the last episode, maybe the episode before. that is the key that we need. I was about to say, it's the best source of getting keys at the moment, it seems, because the 206 key is the key that we need for the water room quest, Operation Aquarius, and I am kind of tempted to put that into our container to be on the safe side with the power bank, because at least this way, if we do end up dying this raid, we don't have to try and find it again. We'll have access to it pretty much straight away. I am going to go ahead and just do that for the XP. I forgot I was going to go into my rig over my backpack. But regardless, finding the 206 key is very, very beneficial for us, because I don't think we have to survive the raid in order for it to count. I really want... Can I put this on? I can, but not with the gas welder glasses. That's fine. We'll put the gas mask on. A little bit more swag. Why not? But yeah, I think we should be in a good spot just to now push over to the other side of the map. We don't need to worry about hitting the RUAF side, so we do already have the key for extortionists. We need to go over towards dorms to grab ourselves the key for the pocket watch again. And we also need to go to dorms anyway for room 206 for Operation Aquarius. And I'm also going to start going ahead. Let's pop... Do we? Yeah, we do. Let's pop our Vaseline so we can actually see a little bit better with this broken hand. But going back to the point I was trying to just make, we do need to hit up toolboxes a little bit more frequently than I initially thought. Those shots sound like they're over towards dorms. But yeah, we're going to have to hit toolboxes a little bit more because we do need gas analyzers. And toolboxes are a fairly common place for the gas analyzers to spawn. The other place to go would be to interchange, because they can spawn fairly frequently in Ollie. I'm just trying to remember where we actually found the previous gas analyzer. I cannot remember for the life of me where that was. I don't need that anymore. I was about to say, oh, we needed that GM count the other day for a daily. And I almost was like, oh, we need that GM count for a daily, but we don't anymore. That daily has run out, unfortunately. No stash here. So there's a little bit more action, it seems, going on towards the dorms side of the map than over towards where we are right now. Which is not an issue, because we need to head over there, and we need to obviously, as I said, do Friend from the West Part 1. I think this is a scav we just heard. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure where they stop. I'm not gonna be able to see them through the bushes, so I'm not even gonna attempt to peek them there. There we go. Finally got the headshot. Now, even though I've got the unknown key, I'm going to check this dead body because it can have some other loot on it from time to time. Okay, so as expected, the dead scav has been fully looted. There is a drop coming in this raid. Didn't quite want that to happen, but never mind. see where that drop ends up coming to. So this Umka is probably a better storage rig than what we currently have. So we'll just go ahead and do this. We are getting pushed by scavs galore this raid. Okay, that gives us a bit more room. We do want to kind of push away from this area as swiftly as possible, however, because we do have, or have made a lot of noise here, sorry. We'll take the flashbang, it might come in handy for us. And we'll go ahead and drink this juice. Then we will need to check the magazine. In fact, we can do that. Right, we're going to reload just to be on the safe side here. Still looking for a splint from one of the scavs we have killed. We could potentially push to Crack House for a splint, maybe. That is also a possibility. Not sure yet, I haven't really decided. Just drink up this hot rod. That S March we'll put here. Oh, ginger keychain's actually really nice to find. Sorry, 5 and 6, because this... Oh, there's keys in it. What keys have we got? Oh, there's not keys in there. I thought there were. Never mind. Ignore what I just said. Let's put this back down here. And we will need to probably end up using the Vaseline again in a second, because our first use has now worn off. So we'll just go ahead and pop this again. Been a bit unlucky not to find a splint so far. As I said, we could have gone to Crack House to try and solidify finding one, but I'm pretty much not hyper focused, but I am focused on just trying to get the quests done that we came in for. Considering we've got the keys for 2 out of the 3 quests, I think that is going to be the main focus now. Obviously we did hear shots over here, so we have to be wary of that. But yeah, there's some really weird ambient noises going on customs at the moment. Obviously we heard, I don't know what that was supposed to be, a frog, a bird, I don't know what that noise was supposed to be, we just heard. It was probably more towards the frog aspect than the bird, I think. But who knows. But we will just push through this area of the map fairly swiftly. Okay, so need to put this down here. So Dorms has been hit, which is to be expected, especially with the shots that we heard going down over here. Don't hear any movement. We are on full auto. I am going to clear so I'm going to clear 3-story very quickly. By clear it, I mean have a quick peek. So the shots that we heard over this way seems like they were from a player killing scavs, just by obviously the dead scavs we have just seen, or the dead, I think it was one dead scav, might have been two, I can't remember. But the key we have for this particular building is 214, which is the safe at the other end of, or the safe room should I say, at the other end of this particular story. So we are going to walk down here with the door open on the room next to the room we need. We're not going to be able to tell if it's been opened until we get here. So it hasn't, which means we have access to the safe, which is nice. I wouldn't actually be upset if we found a horse figure in here, because we do need it for a daily task. Euros, rubles, horse figure maybe? Ah, lovely. Just what we're looking for. Does allow us to get that daily done as well, as long as we survive this run. Alright, let's go. I always like to sprint out of 3-story, especially if I'm on the second floor on that side. And especially if you can see if the car is up or not. Because if the car isn't up, you're probably a little safer to just sprint over. Sprint down the stairs and then sprint over to 2-story if that is your location. So this is the water room. Sometimes there is water and stuff that can spawn in here. This time we're not so lucky. But we're going to go ahead and pop our hot rod. We have an apple juice as well, so we're going to pop the humpback just to get some food down us, to get a bit more energy going, because that's the last thing we want to be worrying about in this particular raid. And then let's move back over to where the bronze pocket watch spawns. But I'm not going to go down the metal stairs. Let's check the kitchen. I'm not going to go down the metal stairs in this particular building, just because I feel there's a lot more angles that people can hold on that side with all the foliage. So we have just run out of our painkiller again. And the main reason I'm continuously popping this painkiller is so I can actually see properly, because with the effect of a broken limb and the screen going super blurry, it's not always that easy to be able to see what's going on. Don't be sniper scav. It's a scav to our left, that's fine. Scav on the road to our left towards new gas. Because if it was sniper scav, as soon as we came out of that container we'd be shot at again. So I don't think sniper scav has spawned in this raid. And if he has, he's been taken out fairly early on. But this time around, unlike the last raid, we are going to push through the stronghold side of the map. Just need to be obviously wary of player scavs. So we haven't heard any shots, at least from what I can tell, over that side of the map. And we're not really looking to go into stronghold. We're just looking to push through to go towards the extortionist task. And we have, what, 18 minutes left in the raid, so a fair amount of PMCs would have probably been in and out of the raid already. There are only a handful, in my opinion, of actual players on their PMC that will stay in a raid for basically the whole raid. But then again, it also depends, I suppose, on the loot that you may have picked up during the course of your raid. For example, in the first episode when we found the LEDX, our first priority was to head to exfil. So I suppose if you found a reasonable bit of loot... Okay, that's not quite what I wanted to happen. And it's very dark in that area of the map that we can't even spot the first scav that was shooting at us. But we are just gonna keep pushing through. I'm not going to worry too much about the scav that was just shooting at us. We could actually exfil here. We're not going to, because as I said, I want to try and get the extortionist done whilst we're here as well. But the ability to exfil is here. So we could actually go and get the item and come back to old gas, which might well be the play, rather than pushing through to like ZB012, ZB011. Because the task item is literally in this metal hut in front of us. So there should be a straight line, pick it up, straight line back to go to gas to exfil, old gas to exfil. But I might end up doing the reverse through this building to our left. Because there can be some reasonable loot that can spawn in here in the weapon crates. We do obviously have another MP5 in our secondary weapon slot currently. Not really too fussed about rip ammo if I'm truly honest. But there's sometimes a weapon crate here, there's one in the corner which we're not going to worry about. There is stuff that can spawn here, but I can't see anything worthwhile. In fact, I didn't see anything at all. And I don't see anything here worth taking. So that being said, we will just push over towards old gas again and use this exfil to get out the raid. Excuse me. That is a dead something or other here. Looks like a dead scav to me. With an ADAR with no mag. So it does mean that someone's already came through this area. We'll take this. Honestly, I thought that door was closed for a second. Couldn't see it properly. But that is a successful raid under our belt. And 3 tasks completed plus 2 dailies. So all in all, that is a very nice raid to have, considering we have got a fair bit of XP and a fair bit of rep off the back of it, and 5.5 K XP. There was only 2 thorax shots, the rest were headshots in that raid on the scavs that we ended up killing. And it does put us through at level 13 as well. So we are now well on our way to level 15 in the flea market. Because as soon as we unlock the flea market, the possibilities for us are quite endless. We can buy all the stuff we need for hideout upgrades rather than trying to find them in raid. Weapon modding becomes a lot easier for us too. Instead of us having to go with the stuff that we find or the stuff from traders, we can just go ahead and buy the bits and bobs that we do require. But I'm just going to go ahead and turn in all of our tasks. Does unlock Shootout Picnic as well as Delivery from the Past. Operation Aquarius Part 1 opens up Operation Aquarius Part 2 for us. We can go ahead and complete our task for Peacekeeper, which gives us our first bit of rep for him. And I'm pretty sure we can turn in the horse, and we can also turn in the extortionate. Oh, extortionist, should I say. So all in all, that is a nice little raid for us to complete. However, it does give us a bit of a dilemma when it comes to stash management. So we are going to put in as much as we can into our rigs, solely because if we utilize the rig space that we have rather than putting like everything down the bottom loose, we'll have a bit more room to actually put more loot going forward. So that one is now filled, that is full, that is full, that is almost full. We have 1 space, so let's put the TP in there. which gives us a bit more room and freedom down the bottom of our stash here to be able to have a bit more room here. When it comes to the Pilgrim, we've got another Pilgrim inside of there. We're probably just going to sell this gas mask, even though it's nice air quote swag, as I said. Just going to go ahead and get rid of it. We'll get rid of the survival lighter too, which does open up a free slot in the Pilgrim. So let's go to Ragman and sell him this. I'm actually going to sell our two armors we have here as well, and the main reason behind that is, as I mentioned prior to that last raid, we have access to buy a armor off of Prapor, so we don't need to worry on that regard. I'm going to keep holding this MBSS solely because it's the only spare backpack we have outside of... Actually, I don't think outside of anything that is the only spare backpack we have, I do believe. Let's just go ahead and sell that to Therapist, and that frees up quite a bit more room for us to go ahead and store our loot from this raid, because we do have another storage rig here. The CMS we do want to take into the raid again. The power bank can come out. We don't need 206 anymore. We'll keep hold of 214, but we will take the Gingy keychain out for the time being. Are we able to put this on anything and this on anything? We're not. That's fine. They can all stay in there for the time being then. The power bank can go in here, in here. 206 we're just going to sell to Therapist because we do not need that key anymore. And we do actually have room in the MBSS, so that's actually very handy. We'll go ahead and start storing stuff in there. And let's grab our rewards. So this SKS we're just going to sell to Mechanic. The PS rounds can go into the Umcut rig. Let's just go ahead and sell... Actually, let's sell to Peacekeeper rather than Mechanic to get some money spent on him ready for the next level. Therapist gives us a bunch of water and a water filter. We'll probably sell the water filter for now, but the water we will keep hold of for hydrational purposes. So if we go back to Therapist, we'll just sell her the water, should I say. Peacekeeper ends up giving us a splint that we could have used in the last raid. Obviously we didn't have access to a splint in the last raid, but it would have been nice to have found one. This we're going to probably... I'm not sure. I don't actually know if that can go on... Oh, it can go on there. That actually is very handy because we have this site we can use instead. Meaning that those two can then be sold to Peacekeeper for a little bit of cash. Not a lot of cash, but a little bit. And it also means that we can use the PP19 with a sight that's actually a little bit lower to the weapon. And finally, we do have access now to get the rewards from Skier. So we're going to keep hold of the press armor, but the VPO 209 I'm probably going to end up selling along with the mags and the ammo. Even though the ammo is used in the VPO sniper rifle, as I think I mentioned in the last episode, with the VPO sniper, I feel the best option is to use the AP ammo. That is not the person I wanted to sell that to. But yeah, the best option for it is the AP ammo, especially if you're doing Tarkov Shooter Part 3, which is one of the tasks that we do have a requirement to fulfill. And we now have over $2,500. We have almost $1 million, which is the most money we've had so far in this series, and we have 205 euros, which at the moment doesn't really mean a hell of a lot to us. It just kind of gives us a bit of possibility moving forward. Right, let's pop all of those on to keybinds and then have a look at our tasks to see what we have to do here. So we have the Survivor's Path, which we could do in one of our next raids in terms of dehydration. What's on the flash drive? Stirrup. We've got Operation Aquarius 2. Excuse me, Delivery from the Past, Shootout Picnic. I mean, we could potentially go to maybe woods and do a bit of a loot run, but at the same time go for the survivalist path dehydration task. I think that's what I'm leaning towards here. So we'll take the PP19 out and we'll put the Mosin inventory on. We'll go ahead and take the PSO ammo out and pop that in the MBSS for now. Take a bottle of water in with us, and then if we go to Therapist and buy ourselves, let's go ahead and buy, let's go buy 3, not 10. We don't want 10, holy cow. No, stop giving me the option to buy 10. I want 3. Why is this doing this? I want to buy 3. Thank you. Because this way we can go ahead and dehydrate ourselves with painkillers rather than dehydrating ourselves with I've done it with whatchamacallit before, with the condensed milk. Obviously we don't have access to condensed milk, but you do have the potential opportunity to use condensed milk if you wish. We're going to keep the wallet on us for car exfil potential. You know what? I'm going to leave the Vaseline behind on this run, and I'm going to see if I've got a smaller backup med, because if I don't, we will put the Vaseline back in. But I think I died with all my small backup meds, unfortunately. Okay, so we'll put the Vaseline back in, and we'll go ahead and take a spare car med kit. Do we still have some ammo for the Mosin? We have a little bit. So if we just filter by item, we can't even buy any of that at the moment. Okay, let's link search and see what ammo we can get. Let's get the HBBT. Let's get 30 rounds. And then if we chuck some FMJ in, then put the HPBT ammo in as a, not a backup, but as our secondary ammo. I am tempted to take a pistol with me as well, just as like a sidearm. I can't remember where all my pistols are, which is why I'm opening absolutely everything here. So we have a TT, but then we don't really have any room for the backup round. So I think we just run the Mosin inventory. We're not looking for any action this raid. We're just looking to get in, dehydrate ourselves, and then get out of the map just to get the dehydration task done. But we're also looking for a bit of loot, maybe some scav kills for Shootout Picnic 2, even though it doesn't lead on to anything. It'll be a little bit of XP for us. So without further ado, we're going to jump into a woods run, get this dehydration task done, potentially get some scav kills and some loot, and then get out of the raid. Alrighty, so we are finally into raid number 3 of the episode, and we are just going to hide ourselves and dehydrate ourselves real quick. Now, say finally into the 3rd raid of the episode, we had to go ahead and unfortunately load into this raid twice. So the first time round we were sat for about 15 minutes or so trying to basically matchmake, load into the raid, etc. And we were just sat there waiting and waiting and waiting, and it just would not load us into a raid. So this is, as I said, the 2nd attempt at loading into the raid. Finally we're actually here, so we can finally get ourselves dehydrated, and then we can wait for the 5 minutes to go through, and then we can probably just go for the village and maybe the car exfil. It will be a very short raid, but the main aim of this raid is to obviously get ourselves through the dehydration task. So we're going to be waiting for about 5 minutes in this location. We might actually move on once the dehydration kicks in, just so we're not sat around doing nothing for the whole raid. We'll probably end up pushing over to the village as soon as the dehydration sets in. At least that way we're not just sat here for 5 minutes doing nothing. Now obviously with the village, it is a very highly contested location on the map, so players could be kind of roaming into this area already. There's obviously a spawn at the top end of the village. There's actually a spawn in the sunken village like behind us as well, so there could be someone that's potentially going to come through the gap to our right fairly soon if they're going to be pushing towards this area of the map. So we'll have to be a little bit wary of that as well. But regardless, we are now dehydrated, and once the dehydration task is complete, I'm pretty sure we should get a notification down the bottom right of the screen as we usually would. I just want to check that this Vaseline doesn't give us any hydration. It doesn't, it just dehydrates us and drains our energy. So we will go ahead and pop this, so at least this way we have a painkiller that is in effect for a reasonable amount of time, so we can actually see any potential enemies on the map. Obviously scavs, PMCs and like. It sounded like Sturman is up with that SVD ringing out too, so we may be in luck and we may not actually have anyone come down to the village in this raid, which means we might have free reign just to loot up, let the dehydration task finish, hit the money in the car and get out of the raid. But at the same time, we might not be that lucky and we may end up having to fight our way out of this location. And saying that, we've literally just killed a person that was led over by the car exfil here. So we do want to be wary that there might be a teammate close by, but we look to be okay to loot here. Oh, an M1A is a really nice find. We'll pick that up. At level 40, we might get reported off the back of that, unfortunately, but regardless, we will grab the loot that we can get off of this person, which is an M1A with one mag, a splint, and a dog tag. I don't know if they are a USEC, we will check that in a moment's time, but the M1A is a very, very nice find for us. We'll put that down to the lower zoom on the scope. But that was a nice find for us in terms of getting the kill, and also being able to go from there. I didn't actually check the car when I was rolling up. I just saw them kind of randomly led on the floor. So unless they were looking for people like myself that spawn in the area that we did, I'm obviously not 100% sure there. But we were very lucky to pick up that kill, if I do say so myself. We'll just unload this HBBT ammo because it is the same ammo that we will be using in our Mosin. But we just heard some footsteps to like our right. Okay, so scav, so we'll push into this building, find ourselves some more like food and drink, get some more XP underway. One. Take the old M18 out for a bit of a test drive, why not? Alright, let's go ahead and heal up the areas we need to, which is obviously the head and the thorax mostly. I'm pretty sure the hydration, like the dehydration, sorry, will be done in around 33 minutes in this raid, maybe 32, I can't remember exactly. But we have got obviously the bottle of water we can use to hydrate ourselves, as well as the ice green tea in the ground that we just found. We're going to go ahead and drop the, in fact we have just completed the task, so it's probably a case that we have gone over the threshold at 33 minutes already. We are going to go ahead and grab a few bits and bobs again, still in the village. We'll see if this scav's got any loot that we want as well in just a moment's time. We'll probably end up drinking the Grand Juice as well, just to top up hydration pretty much fully. Okay, so this scav looks like he's got the new backpack. So I'm just going to go ahead and probably loot that up and drop our bag around the back of the building here. We will grab hold of those bits for the grenade as well, which have decided to make their way into the scav's rig. So it's not ammo that we want for the for the ADAR/M4. We're just going to go ahead and drop our bag here. Should be perfectly fine to get back on insurance that way. But yeah, that kill on the player was very handy. I am actually going to check, were they USEC or a bear? They were a bear. That's a little unfortunate, because it doesn't count towards friend from the West Part 1. What was that? JPSX, SBBT. Actually, we'll take the SBBT, and then we'll go ahead and just heal ourselves up a bit more. So we're going to push over to the house opposite us, because there are some spawns in there there is at least a singular spawn in there for tech related things. We are just going to scan the top of this hill here, make sure no one's looking over the village and sniping, before we end up pushing across to this building over here. So I'm guessing the person that was by the car exfil must have put money into the car to obviously use the car extract and be able to get out of this raid through the car exfil. Whether they had something that needed them to use it as a daily, I'm not too sure. Regardless of that, we will take that headshot kill with our Mosin, because it has given us a fairly nice M1A, I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure the M1A is needed for a task called Test Drive as well, but I'm almost certain that that is maybe a nighttime thing. I'm not 100% sure on that though. Nothing in the box that can spawn the good old tech stuff, so there's unfortunately no, there's a horse figure down there, but we don't need that anymore for the daily. But yeah, there's no GPU or anything like that unfortunately down there, because as I said, there is no tech that has spawned in that location. But we are going to go ahead and grab as much loot as we can here. Bridge exfil is obviously still up. They might not have even been going for exfil, to be fair. They could have been there, as I said, to try and scope someone like me out. We were just lucky enough to be running a little lower than where they were searching. So they were kind of moving around in terms of their prone position. They weren't just like sat looking in one place or anything along those lines. So it might have just been a case that we were lucky enough to escape their scoping, and us sitting there taking those PKs gave us the opportunity to get that kill. Obviously if we had pushed straight up to the village, we would have ended up more than likely dying, I feel like, because I feel the player would have got to that position before us, or even been able to take the fight a little bit easier than they did with the pathing that we took to get to the location that we did. There is also a possibility that they forgot to come in with backup mags and spare ammo and meds and stuff, and they could have just been looking to exfil from the raid. There's a lot of potential like thought processes and reasons for them to be there. But regardless, for us it was a win, because we ended up getting a nice Mosin headshot. We took our time with the shot as well. We didn't rush just because they hadn't seen us or because we had seen them. We took our time and made sure we landed the shot, which is the main thing that we could have done in that scenario. But yeah, I have a feeling they could potentially report us, considering that we're a low level and we have also not got EOD on this particular account. So there's every opportunity that they saw the standard account, saw the name, got Mosin headshotted and decided, let's report them because that's a bit sus. Obviously we know it's not sus, but they don't know that. Did check everything was fine. So now we'll go ahead and transfer our money into the car, and we'll wait a minute to exfil from this raid and have another task and a kill under our belt. Unfortunately it was a bear, so there's no progress towards Throne from West Part 1, but in air quotes it was a bit of PvP. We just managed to get lucky, like I was mentioning before in this episode, on a case that we had a Mosin with not great, well, we had FMJ ammo in the Mosin, so it wasn't the end of the world. Just wasn't quite what we were hoping to be running. Obviously no sight as well was a non-beneficial factor for us, but we managed to make it work. There is obviously a airdrop coming in, but with 8 seconds left on our car exfil, we're just going to go ahead and take it. I don't know how they didn't see us, unless they were scoped in like this, like fully zoomed in. That's the only thing I can think of about them not seeing us, or they were too far left of our angle. But regardless, we ended up getting the kill with a Mosin headshot from 54 meters out, and then we did kill the scav with the M1A as well. But that was actually a very, very nice raid to get out of in terms of progress towards the task that we are, well, not even the progress, the completion of the task we were looking to do, a kill. So as I said, we got some sort of air quote PvP in this episode too, but also a successful exfil with a brand new bag with a little bit more room. It does kind of put us in a situation where we don't have a lot of space in our stash again, so we do need to start looking at potentially selling some stuff, or also even going ahead and going ahead and just looking for the bits that we need for our hideout upgrade. Also, we could probably end up selling like maybe the AKS-74U and the AKM-SN, because with this M1A, if we pop that into our stash, we basically have no room anymore. But it is what it is. We'll worry about that in the future. For now, we'll just go ahead and complete our task. We are going to put the M1A back onto our player for now, just so we can grab the items for completion here, and then we'll just go ahead and sell a few things to Therapist just to get a little bit more money going. So let's do those two and the water filters. And then Jaeger also has a green check mark, meaning we do have the Wounded Survival Beast, which we'll just do as part of playing the game. Obviously, if you end up getting a broken hand or something like that and then killing scavs with it, that is obviously the ideal situation. But regardless of that, guys, that is going to do it for this particular episode. I hope you did enjoy it. We are now at a 61% survival rating. We obviously ended up dying, unfortunately, in the first raid of this episode, but then we managed to get a 2 survival streak off the back of that on customs and on woods, and we also managed to get a fair amount of tasks completed in this episode too, as well as 2 of our dailies, which is a great way to kind of round up the episode, I suppose. But regardless of that, guys, if you did enjoy the episode, please be sure to hit the like rating and subscribe to the channel for more gaming content. With regards to my social media, I will leave links to that in the description down below. There will be a link to my Twitch channel down there, as well as my TikTok, both of which I will be aiming to go live on fairly frequently in the upcoming days, and also in the future as well. So if you want to go and check those out and drop me a follow over there, that would be greatly appreciated. I'll also leave a link to my trading card game channel in the description down below as well. If you are into trading card games, be sure to go and check that out. I will be uploading on there fairly frequently moving forward as well. But regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.